Did you know that small spending habits can quietly drain your wallet? Many people don't realize how little expenses, like ordering food delivery or paying for unused subscriptions, add up over time. It's like having a slow leak in a boat. You don't notice the water coming in until it's too late. Take Sarah, for example. She works hard but always feels like she's behind on her bills. She dreams of saving for a better life, but finds her bank account empty at the end of every month. What she doesn't realize is that her spending habits, like paying for convenience or buying things she doesn't really need, are keeping her stuck. The truth is, many people waste money in ways they don't even think about. These aren't just big, obvious expenses, but small, sneaky ones that seem harmless at first. Over time, they add up to missed opportunities to save or invest. In this video, we'll uncover 8 surprising things poor people waste their money on. These are not the usual tips you've heard before. By recognizing these hidden costs and making smarter choices, anyone can start living a more frugal, financially secure life. Let's dive in. Number 1. Lack of planning for seasonal purchases. Many people end up wasting money because they don't plan for seasonal purchases. This happens when you buy things like winter coats, summer gear, or school supplies during peak seasons when prices are at their highest. Stores know that demand is high during these times, so they raise prices, leaving shoppers with fewer options and bigger bills. For example, Sarah needed a winter jacket in December, just as temperatures dropped. She paid $150 for a jacket that would have cost half the price if she had bought it during the summer. This kind of spending feels unavoidable, but it can be managed with better planning. The trick is to think ahead. Buy winter clothes at the end of the cold season, when stores are clearing out inventory. Grab summer items during the fall when discounts are everywhere. Even school supplies can be purchased off-season if you stock up when sales are running. Planning for seasonal purchases not only saves money but also reduces stress. Instead of rushing to buy at the last minute, you'll already have what you need. A little planning can make a big difference, helping you avoid overpaying and keeping more money in your pocket. Number 2. Paying for idle time expenses. One big way people waste money is by paying for things they aren't actively using, what we call idle time expenses. This includes things like storage units filled with unused items, long-term parking spaces, or subscriptions to services that sit untouched. Take Sarah, for example. She rented a storage unit 2 years ago to keep old furniture and boxes. She hasn't touched those items since, but she still pays $80 every month for the unit. That's almost $1,000 a year wasted on storing things she doesn't need or even remember. The same thing happens with gym memberships, streaming services, or online subscriptions. These might have been useful at first, but when they're no longer needed, the costs quietly add up. The solution? Do an audit of what you're paying for but not using. Cancel unused memberships and subscriptions. If you have a storage unit, sell or donate the items you're keeping, then close the unit. For parking or similar services, look for pay-as-you-go options instead. By cutting out idle time expenses, you'll free up money for things you actually use and enjoy. Small changes like these can have a big impact on your budget. Number 3. Ignoring bundled savings in utilities and services. Many people waste money by paying for separate utilities and services instead of bundling them together. This includes things like internet, cable, and phone plans. Companies often offer discounts when you combine these services, but most people stick to what they've always paid for, even if it costs more. Take Sarah, for example. She pays $60 for her internet, $40 for cable, and $30 for her cell phone plan. That's $130 every month. She didn't realize that her provider has a bundle deal for all 3 services for just $90. By not checking for discounts, she's losing $480 a year. This kind of waste happens because we don't take the time to review our bills or call companies to ask for better deals. Companies often rely on this, knowing most customers won't bother to negotiate. The fix is simple. Take an hour to review your services. Call your provider and ask about bundles or promotions. You might also save by switching to a competitor offering better deals. By bundling services or negotiating discounts, you can save hundreds of dollars a year. It's an easy way to cut unnecessary costs and keep more money in your pocket. Number 4. Defaulting to new rather than borrowing or renting. Many people waste money because they automatically buy new items instead of borrowing, renting, or reusing what they already have. This habit can cost a lot, especially when the item is only needed for a short time. For example, Sarah wanted to hang some pictures and bought a $70 power drill. She only used it once. If she had borrowed one from a neighbor or rented one from a hardware store, she could have saved most of that money. Similarly, people spend money on new party decorations, books, or tools when they could share, borrow, or rent these items. This happens because borrowing is often overlooked and renting might seem inconvenient. But the truth is, communities and online platforms now make it easier than ever to share resources. Many neighborhoods have tool libraries, and websites offer options to rent equipment, decorations, or even clothing at a fraction of the cost. The next time you need something, ask yourself, do I really need to own this? Borrowing, renting, or repurposing not only saves money, but also reduces clutter and waste. It's a smarter, more sustainable way to manage your spending. Number 5. Hidden costs of social obligations. Social obligations like birthdays, weddings, and holidays can quickly drain your wallet if you're not careful. Many people feel pressure to spend money on expensive gifts, outfits, or parties to show they care or to fit in. These costs might seem small at first, but they can add up fast. For example, Sarah was invited to a friend's wedding and felt she had to buy a $100 gift and a $75 dress for the event. Later that month, she spent another $50 on a baby shower gift for a coworker. While she wanted to be generous, these expenses left her struggling to pay bills. The truth is, you don't have to spend a lot to show you care. Instead, focus on thoughtful and affordable options. For gifts, consider DIY projects, baking something special, or pooling money with others for a group gift. For events, reuse outfits or borrow clothing instead of buying something new. The key is to set limits and prioritize your budget. Social obligations are important, but they shouldn't push you into financial trouble. By planning ahead and finding creative ways to participate, you can celebrate with others without overspending. Number 6. Overpersonalization in beauty and grooming. Many people spend too much money on beauty and grooming because they follow expensive trends or feel pressure to look perfect. Monthly manicures, brand-name skincare products, frequent hair salon visits, and fancy makeup can quickly add up. These personalized routines may feel necessary, but often, they're more about following trends than actual needs. For example, Sarah spends $50 on a manicure every 2 weeks and $40 on high-end skincare products she saw on social media. That's almost $2,000 a year. She also goes to the salon every month for treatments she could do at home for a fraction of the cost. The truth is, you don't need to spend a fortune to take care of yourself. DIY beauty solutions, like at-home nail kits or natural skincare recipes, can save you hundreds of dollars. Reusable items like razors or makeup pads also reduce waste and costs over time. Focus on simplicity. You don't need 10 products for healthy skin or constant salon visits to feel confident. Stick to what works for you and avoid the temptation of expensive trends. By simplifying your routine, you'll save money and still look your best without the guilt of overspending. Number 7. Falling into the trap of zero-interest financing deals. Zero-interest financing deals sound like a great way to buy expensive items, but they can be a trap. Stores use these deals to make you think you're saving money, but if you don't pay off the full balance within the promotional period, you could end up paying high interest rates. For example, Sarah bought a $1,200 couch on a zero-interest plan for 12 months. She thought it was a smart choice because there was no interest. But life got busy, and she missed the final payment. Suddenly, the store charged her interest for the entire year, an extra $400 she didn't plan for. These deals are risky because they create a false sense of affordability. You might buy something you wouldn't normally afford, thinking you'll have plenty of time to pay it off. But unexpected expenses, late payments, or missed deadlines can make these purchases more expensive than paying upfront. The best solution is to save up and pay cash whenever possible. If you must use financing, read the fine print carefully, set up automatic payments, and make sure you pay off the balance before the interest kicks in. Avoiding this trap can save you a lot of money and stress. Number 8. Spending on emotional escapes. When people feel stressed or unhappy, they often spend money on things to feel better in the moment. This is called emotional spending, and it can quietly drain your money. Instead of solving problems, it only gives short-term comfort while making your financial situation worse. For example, Sarah feels frustrated after a long day at work, so she orders takeout for $30 instead of cooking. On the weekend, she shops online, buying clothes she doesn't need just to cheer herself up. At the end of the month, she's surprised to find she spent over $200 on emotional escapes. This type of spending isn't about needs. It's about coping with stress, boredom, or sadness. While it feels good for a moment, the regret often comes later when money is tight. The solution is to find healthier, low-cost ways to deal with emotions. Try going for a walk, listening to music, journaling, or talking to a friend instead of spending money. If you need a treat, set a small budget for it, like $10 for a fun activity. By replacing emotional spending with thoughtful habits, you'll save money and feel more in control of your emotions and finances. Money often disappears in ways we don't even notice. Small habits like paying for things we don't use can quietly add up and leave us struggling. But the good news is, once you understand these hidden traps, you can make changes that have a big impact. The key is to be mindful of where your money goes. You don't have to live without joy or comfort, but you do need to prioritize what matters most. Small changes, like borrowing instead of buying, meal prepping instead of ordering takeout, can free up money to save, invest, or use for something meaningful. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next. If you made it to this point in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.